My name's Shaquan, but a lot of people know me by my other name, Mad Skillz. I'm an MC.
My name is Mad Skillz. Paris, make some noise!
I'm a DJ.
Oh, yeah!
I'm a ghostwriter for some of your favorite rappers. I'm not about to tell you who, though. But most importantly, I'm a hip-hop enthusiast. HipHopConfessions is raw, unfiltered conversations with my friends revealing things that they didn't like, never knew about,
I don't know.
or never got into about hip-hop culture. So sit back.
Oh, come on, y'all.
Turn up the volume.
Hip-hop.
And listen to HipHopConfessions. Because everybody's got one.
Here's a little story that must be told.
And it goes a little something like this.
Yo, what's up, world? This is your boy, Mad Skillz. We are back. Happy 2023. This is the first show of the new year. I'm excited. I hope y'all had a good holidays. But listen, HipHopConfessions is back, and we coming back strong. Y'all know what it is, man, but if you don't know, I'm going to give it to you in a nutshell. This is a show where I bring in industry alikes, my friends, my homies, and I get them to reveal something hip-hop related or music related that they've never told anybody, and we like to call that a hip-hop confession. Kicking off the first episode of 2023, I got one of my guys, man, one of my homies, the bro in the building representing LA West Coast, the great DJ Khalil. What's up, man?
What up, man? What up?
How are you, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm like nervous and happy to be on the show all at the same time. But no, it's good. It's good, man.
Happy New Year to you, man.
Happy New Year, man. Happy New Year.
Good, man.
How's your holiday?
Oh man, listen, I disappeared for
Me too.
for I deleted all of my social media and everything. I disappeared right after like Black Friday.
Man, good for you.
And I didn't miss the shit at all. You know what I'm saying? I deactivated Instagram, Twitter. I took the shit off my phone. And you know what's crazy, Lil? I got so much done in that
Right,
month.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I had known what it was like to just go off the grid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know, it was certain things that was happening, and I had no fucking clue. Like,
Yeah.
so I was at the studio and somebody was like, "Yo, man, Tory Lanez just got found guilty," and I was like, "He did it." I was like, "You didn't know, Skillz? That happened like 3 days ago." I was like,
Nah. Yeah, exactly.
I said, bro, if Lester Holt didn't talk about it on the 6:30 NBC Nightly News, I don't know what the fuck is happening.
Right.
If it don't make the news,
Then whatever. Right.
I don't know.
Right.
Like,
Right.
so a rapper, you know, no disrespect to him, but, you know, a rapper beating up another rapper, if it don't make Entertainment Tonight,
Yeah, then it's not
I
news.
didn't know.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm just getting back,
Yeah.
and I'm ready to start the new year fresh, man. I'm feeling good about some things I got coming up, man. But, you know, it ain't about me. It's about you.
Yeah.
So listen, man, you know, a producer, you've been producing, you've done a lot of, you know, you've done some major Eminem records, Dr. Dre, 50 Cent, that whole camp, you know, just Pink, you know what I mean? Like, but
Yeah.
when did you start producing?
Man, I started like in 1990. I mean,
Oh,
I don't
wow.
even think I wasn't really even producing, to be honest. I was just like, a friend of mine had a studio in his garage, and like my mom introduced us, and like I just literally hung out there, and he already had a studio. Like, he was in the same grade. We were both in 10th grade, and he already had a full studio, and he was just showing me, this is how you loop stuff, this is how you do whatever. So I just started going through I was sneaking records out of my dad's collection, like literally, and going to his house all weekend and trying to learn how to make beats. Literally, I was listening to, like, I'll never forget, like, when I heard like Mecca and the Soul Brother for the first time, I was just like, that was like the pivotal moment where I was like,
some click.
either I'm gonna really do this or I'm gonna quit, because it was just, I couldn't believe that you could even make something like that.
Right.
So it was just like at that point, you know, I was just kind of messing around, but I was like, no, I gotta take this seriously. You know what I mean? So, and my dad kind of gave me a reality check too, because like the first time I played him like my first beat tape, he was like, this is trash, like this is terrible. You know what I mean? But he was doing it to tell me, like, you know, keep doing it, like, you know, and understand how music is made. Like, this isn't in key, and, you know, you're just throwing a bunch of loops together, you know.
Right.
I didn't get it at the time. I was kind of like, this is hip hop. You don't know what you're talking about. But years later, I understood exactly what he was talking about. You know what I mean? And, you know, here I am. You know what I mean?
And it's crazy, you know, it's crazy that you bring up your dad, because your dad is a legend in himself, you know what I'm saying? So it's just crazy that you didn't even go into basketball like your father is, Walt Hazard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
I didn't become 6'3". I didn't get the 6'3" gene like my dad. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, former NBA player, you know, UCLA player, coach, you know what I'm saying? So it's crazy that you didn't end up at least a ball boy or something. Because I know basketball is a part of his life, you know, a big part of his life. So
no, it was a big part of my life. I just wasn't athletic like him. I wasn't, you know what I mean? But I played like a year in college, and I won a championship in high school and all that. But it just, once I found music and hip hop, that's all I wanted to do, literally. Like once I started DJing and I figured that out, I was like, oh, I love it. Right. I spent every waking moment doing it. You know what I mean? So, I mean, up until now, literally, I feel the same way. I feel like I just discovered it again. You know what I mean? Which is like a blessing. You know what I mean? Because I feel like it's all new with all this new technology, and I feel like I'm getting better, and I'm really like excited. Like I haven't even made my best music yet. You know what I mean? So that's really how I feel. Yeah,
that's crazy, man. Like, you know, for you to be in this as long as you have, and to come from, you know, the coast that you came from, you know what I'm saying? You know, you were, you know, if you started in like the 90s, 91, 92, like, you know, NWA was already popping by then, and, you know, the sort of Ice-T, you know what I'm saying? That West Coast gangster music was already something that was making its way across the rest of the world. Yeah, you know what I mean, but you met Dr. Dre at like a young age though, right?
13.
Like before. So you met Dr. Dre at 13.
At 13, he and my sister were like really good friends, and my parents threw her a birthday party at our house, and Dr. Dre, Chris the Glove, like everybody came to the party. Like they took over the whole house. It was crazy. And me and my brother Jalal, like he was the first one to DJ in our family. And we went up to Dre, and he talked to us for like 45 minutes, like, you know, what he went through, like, you know, how he got started and how his mom didn't believe in him until he got his first check. And it was incredible. You know what I'm saying? It was like the most. And Chris the Glove was DJing. Yeah, it was insane.
Yo, you had the best. Your sister had the best West Coast hip hop party ever. Without knowing that she had it.
Ever, man. I met Dre through her. I met Sir Jinx through her. Like, you know, everybody. She just knew everybody. You know what I mean? She was just like, friend. You know, so like Sir Jinx used to just come by the house. Like I remember Sir Jinx brought DOS Effects before it came out, and played it for me. He had like a Honda Accord, a souped up Honda Accord, and was like, yo, you got to come in the car and listen to this. And he played DOS Effects, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. I'm like, who is this?
Right.
Like it was nuts. You know what I mean? But it was just like, I met all these legends at like a very young age, like 13, 14. It was just insane.
That's insane. So at 13, you meet Dre.
Yep. 13, man. 13. And then, you know, you come full circle where like 2003, 2004, I ended up playing beats for him. You know, I worked with this artist that he signed named Brooklyn. And, you know, he loved the beat so much that he was like, yo, I want to keep all these beats. Who made them? And then when I came into the studio, he saw my face and he was like, yo, how's Stacey doing? Like, how, you know, he was asking about my sister, and like, yo, and he told the whole story. Like, he remembered everything. I couldn't believe it.
That's crazy.
Like, his memory is insane. So he was telling everybody in the studio, like, yeah, I met him when he was 13, and, you know, blah, 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 and the whole conversation. And then, like, maybe like 2 or 3 months later, he was like, I'm signing you to Aftermath as a producer. It was like, I couldn't believe it. You know what I mean? So
wow.
To go from being like an aspiring DJ to like literally signing my first like production deal with Dre is crazy. It's like insane.
That's insane. And that's really a full circle moment, man. Like
literally,
you know what I mean? To just and at that point you can be like, hey, like, you know, hey mom, dad, like I know how to loop beats in the key now. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
it was confirmation, but it was like, you know, they supported me. That's a good thing. It's like my parents were like, I was keeping the neighbors up at 4 a.m. Literally, they were like, they fought all the neighbors off. You know what I mean? So
right.
So you know, they were fully in support of everything I was doing at the time. It was, you know, so man,
That's
my
super
parents are
dope,
incredible.
man. Like,
yeah.
yeah. So like, out of all of the records that you've done, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, a lot of people credit you for, you know, the Eminem records that you did, kind of like got him back to the forefront. You did a lot of crazy joints for M. But my favorite of yours is probably and I want to just discuss how it came about and just to get some insight on it, because I never really knew, is Jay-Z's 30-something. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, well, I didn't do that. That was Dre and
I thought you did that.
I did. I Made It.
That's what it was. Mama, I Made It.
Yeah.
Like, how did that record come about?
It's pretty crazy, because that was supposed to be for Detox. That was a Detox record. And basically, Jay-Z was finishing his album and Dre was mixing the whole thing. Because I think Dre mixed like probably more than half of that album.
Right, yeah.
And, you know, we were around record one and like, you know, Dre was doing the mixes and all that. And I was just bringing in beats. And I had this one beat CD that had like, it was just crazy. It was probably one of the best beat CDs I ever made. And
right.
You know, he sent the beat to to Jay-Z. Dre sent the beat to Jay-Z to have him write the song. You know what I mean? When Jay-Z heard the beat, he's like, Dre, I gotta have this beat.
Right.
Like, I gotta have this beat. Like, and Dre was like, well, you know what? He's like, I already wrote the song. He's like, the song's done, basically. And Dre was like, you know, he was gracious enough to give it to him. Like, he didn't even have to do that. You know what I mean? But I think Jay-Z was just like, he's like, man, this is the last song on the album. I think they'd already started mastering, or they had already mastered the album. They added to Kingdom Come like last minute.
Right.
From what, you know, Dre told me. You know what I mean? And I remember Dre calling me like, yo, man, congratulations, you made Jay-Z's album. This was like he was coming out of retirement. You know what I mean? So it was a big, big deal.
Yes.
And like, it was funny because he was like, yo, I need the sample information. I was like, Dre, that's not a sample. He's like, nah, man, for real, you don't want to. He was like, you don't want to
play
get
this
sued.
game.
Yeah, he's like, man, come on, dude, you don't want to get sued. I was like, Dre, that's not a sample. That's my you know, my friends Dante and Mashika, like, they literally made the sample. You know what I mean? And like, that at that moment, Dre looked at me completely. He was like, wow, like he couldn't believe that. You know what I mean? So it was kind of like a turning point in so many different ways. You know what I mean? To get a major placement like that, and like, before people were making their own samples, like, you know, that was kind of like a huge placement at the time. So
yeah, nah, super ill.
Yeah, man, it was crazy.
Damn, that's crazy, man. And I always tell people, like, you know, with Dre, I try to, you know, when some of my younger homies would just be like, yo, man, what was it like working with him? I'm like, bro, it don't matter. Whatever session you had with Dre, I don't care if you're in there for 10 minutes or 10 hours, it's going to be the best session of your life.
It's life-changing, dude. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
Just to watch him work even now, man, like he's outworking everybody even now. So it's like to watch him work and put records together and the detail and how he hears stuff, it's like watching Quincy Jones. It's like the hip-hop Quincy Jones, literally. It's like what he hears and how his vision for a record that we probably don't even get. We won't get it until it's completed. You know what I mean? But he just understands the urgency and like the moment. You know what I mean? And it's like not every producer has that. That's a very special trait. You know what I'm saying? To really, he's incredible, man. He's
man. I you know,
unbelievable. Like for real,
it's super ill. And like one of the, you know, I'll tell my little quick story later. I'll do my confession, but but let's get to it, man. Listen, we got you on. You know what the name of the show is? It's called HipHopConfessions. So Khalil, I need your hip-hop confession. Talk to me, brother.
All right, yeah. I was trying to figure out which one, but like this one.
Hey, we'll take them all, but let's go.
Yeah. Now this, I was just thinking like back in the day, Prince had a club called Glam Slam, and that was like where everybody went. Like that was like the club to go to at one point. And I think
in LA, right?
Yeah, in LA. And Eazy-E hosted a night. I think it was like some kind of ruthless whatever.
Right.
And you know, it was just like everybody was there. It was just like, you know what I mean? And he had, you know, he debuted some artists, and then he brought this group out, and he was like, you know, everybody, you know, this is my new group, Bone Thugs and Harmony. And I was like, Bone Thugs and Harmony? Like, I'm, you know, my friends, we're just like, what? We look at each other like, wait, what?
Right.
And they started like singing and harmonizing, and I was like, wait, what is going on? I'm such a hip hop purist at that point. I'm like, oh, what is happening right now? You know what I mean? Completely, I was not down. I was just like, man, I don't understand this at all.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah, it's like, what is this, right? And like I say, maybe like a few months later, they were huge. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's different when you see it live for the first time and they're harmonizing, they're doing it live. And I was just like, I really can't process.
I don't get it. Right. I
can't process it. And then like, you know, for that to just be like the biggest thing in music at one point, especially for hip hop, it was just like,
yeah,
I couldn't have been more wrong. Like literally, I was like, yo, I take the L on that one, man. But you know, much respect to Bone Thugs, and obviously rest in peace Eazy-E. But that one caught me off guard. I was not down at first. I was down.
What's so crazy is I remember, you know, I was an East Coast rapper, so I was so heavily East Coast influenced. So when I saw Bone Thugs and Harmony, I was like, I remember seeing them on Rap City, and I was like, yeah, I don't get it. Like that whole fucking, like the harmonizing or whatever they was doing and the way they was singing, to me, they weren't like, and that was their style. And I was still trying to connect it to singing and not connected to rapping. And I'm like, they don't sound like fucking Jodeci or Luther Vandross.
Exactly.
Like, so how's that singing? You know, I didn't get the whole harmony thing or whatever.
Yeah,
and I'll never forget it. I never forget it, bro. Like, I hated it. Every time I heard it, I hated it. And my little brother was 10 years younger than me. And he stuttered. He had a stutter like real bad, right? So I remember one day, I'm coming into my house and I hear it playing in my house. And I'm like, who the fuck is listening to Bone Thugs and Harmony? It's just me and my brother and my mom.
Yeah.
And I open my brother's door and he got his back turned and he's doing the Bone Thugs and Harmony bit. And he was doing it like didn't miss a step. Like and them. I'm like,
right.
I'm like, he stuttered. Like, this is crazy. Like,
that's crazy.
How's he able to do that?
Yeah,
you
man.
know what I'm saying?
That's
like
music, dude. Music
and I was
is
just
crazy.
Like, I was like, well, shit, maybe I like Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it was so new. I just didn't really get it. And then like later, obviously years later, you're like, okay, I get it. You know what I mean? But it was not the norm. And it's like, I don't even know how Eazy-E heard that. You know what I mean? It was like, this is going to be the biggest thing ever. Cause I just, but I'm like I said, I'm a hip hop purist. I'm listening to Gangstar and I'm listening, you know what I mean? I'm not,
Das Effects.
I'm the complete opposite of whatever that is. You know what I mean? So I was just like, I was not. Yeah, I know a lot of people didn't see it. You know what I'm saying? And I knew I was like Cleveland. Yeah, Cleveland, exactly. Cleveland? Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But and then later on, they would going to become one of the biggest rap groups in the world. Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
I think the pinnacle. I remember, Crossroads. And, them seeing them come out of like the fucking MTV awards, like they had them like angels.
Yeah,
I was like, damn, these motherfuckers.
That video,
and the video when they touched fucking Uncle Charlie, and his eyes was
like,
black.
Yeah, dude, I was like, I was like, man, it's going too far. But that song was huge.
Listen, bro,
huge.
A lot of people ate off Crossroads. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like Crossroads saved a lot of careers.
For real, seriously.
You know what I mean?
Huge. That was a huge record. No, I can't front on how big they look. Like, they were huge, but that was not. I was not feeling that at first. At first, I was not into it.
What is your favorite record that you've ever been a part of?
Man, my favorite record
that you've ever produced.
I mean, I like random stuff that I've done. Even obviously, Fear, Drake. That was like a pivotal one because he was still, he was popping obviously, but he was still kind of new, and like that was kind of like Jay-Z called him, you know what I mean, about that record, and he even says that's still one of his favorite records, like to this day, you know what I mean. So that was a big one, kind of like a big deal. A lot of these records I did with Chin and Jetty, my boy Chin, shout out to him. My favorite that I've done, just because I I worked really hard at it, and it flew under the radar, but I know like what I did was like, I kind of proved something to myself, which was, there's a song that I did with Game called Ricky, and it was on the Red album. And, you know, originally we sampled Boys in the Hood. It was like that scene where Ricky gets shot.
Right.
And we couldn't clear it. You know what I mean? So they thought the record was dead. I remember Game was like disappointed, like, damn, we can't use this record. It was like, it was one of the, you know, it was like an important record for that album. And so I ended up redoing like almost recreating the score and the scene just on my own with like my musicians. I brought in actors. We actually wrote a script and sent it to Ice Cube so he could do the Ricky part, and, you know, the part where, they bring the body in and his girl starts crying, all that stuff. Like, I brought in actors and we recreated the whole thing. And I remember playing it for Game. He couldn't believe it. He was like, yo, like, this sounds just as incredible as the original. It actually sounded better. Because it was like, you know, it was more like
now you can
vivid.
You can really control the sounds too.
Yeah, exactly. So the record ended up being like way more powerful. You know what I mean? So, but it took like months to get that done. You know what I mean? And like, you know, Interscope, they thought the record was dead, but, you know, we ended up working it out. You know what I mean? And like, they looked at me differently at that point. And I wasn't using samples. You know what I mean? So at that point, I was like playing everything and making my own samples. So you know, that was like a big deal, because like it showed me that like you can always go the full way. Like, you don't have to just give up on a record. You know what I mean? And like, and I learned that from Dre too. It's like, you know, there's always a solution.
There's always
to the
a
problem.
way. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was like a big deal. That's another one. Obviously Kush, because just for what that meant. And
no, it was a big record.
And that was just one of those records that came out of like the detox era of, you know what I'm saying? That actually made it out. It was like, I Need a Doctor and Kush made it out. And it was like, you know, that was it. You know what I'm saying? So, and we worked on that record for 6 months. You know what I mean? Like,
Jesus.
Everybody wrote hooks to that. Like The Dream, to you name it. Everybody MC from the West Coast, every singer from the West Coast, like, they all wrote, you know, so it took a minute to get that record done. And like, yeah, it was like, you know, my other like kind of confession with that record is Dre has sent me the mix, and I was like, you know, he was like, well, what do you think? You know what I mean? And I'm like, Dre's asking me what I think about, you know.
Right, about a mix.
But, you know, my original version sounded different, so I got demoitis, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah, been there.
So I'm like,
and
I don't know.
For people that don't know what demoitis is, it means when you record an early version of a record and you listen to that one so much that when they do what they need to do to the record to make it sound like a song and get it on the radio, it doesn't sound the exact same as it has been on your headphones for 6 months. And you fell in love with the 6-month version, and now it's a new one, and you don't like the new one. That's demoitis.
Yes, perfect explanation. And it applies to this because, like, I was so locked into my version of the beat and what, you know what I mean? So when he sent me the mix, I was like, man, I don't know. Like, you know, he's like,
this ain't it.
This ain't it. You know what I mean? He's like, well, do you think you could do it better? And I was like, well, yeah, I think I could do it. I'm telling Dre that, right? An idiot. Like, I'm an idiot. Like, why am I telling, what, you know, but anyway, I'm thinking like, you know, I can get it to sound like how I hear my vision of it, right? So he's like, all right, cool. I'm gonna set up a session for you. You're gonna go in tomorrow morning. No, you're gonna go in tomorrow, this evening, and in the morning, I'm gonna call you and you're gonna send me the mix. You know what I mean? So I go in with I think it was Steve B, or I'm pretty sure it was Steve, and you know, one of his engineers, and Vito. And we were up all night, and I'm like tweaking it. I'm thinking I know what I'm doing, but I really don't know what I'm doing. I'm like trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? I'm putting stuff back in the record that he took out, whatever. So I literally go up to the like 7 in the morning. It's 7 in the morning at this point, and Dre is like calling me like, yo, where is it at? I'm like, I'm almost done. He calls me 30 minutes later. Where's it at? I finally sent it to him, right? So then I get a call after I'm driving. I'm leaving the studio, and I get a call, and I'm like, well, what'd you think? And he was like, yeah, like, we can't use this. I'm like, why? He's like, because when I mix for mastering. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what does that even mean? Like, I don't even, you know, I'm thinking like,
it's another step after this.
Yeah. He's like, you know, I know he's like, because I put, I leave space. That's why my music works, because the space in my records is what makes my records sound big. You know what I mean? And like, and
that's
helps
what mastering does.
Yeah, and so when he goes to mastering, he has space and he has more room to work with. With me, I'm squashing it. I'm adding my own mastering chain to it. I'm doing everything in the box. He doesn't know that. You know what I mean?
Right.
He knows like 2-inch. We're going to mastering. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm using the SSL. I know what I'm doing. So he's explaining to me. So then the next day they debut it on Power 106. Right. And he at that point he's like, we're just gonna use my mix. Trust me, it's gonna be, you're gonna love it. You know what I mean? And I hear it on the radio, and I'm like, I can't. I was like, it sounded incredible. Like I was like, they're debuting it, they're playing it all day. You know what I mean? It was like a big LA moment because it's Dre and Snoop. And so he called me, and he's like, what do you think now? And I just started laughing. I was like, you were right.
You were right.
He's like, see. But Dre is always teaching me. Like he's always dropped jewels on me. At every point in my career, he's dropped these kind of jewels. And he's like, trial by fire. Like, okay, you think you can do it better? Go ahead.
And at least he gave you the shot to even try.
Yeah.
To say, like, you know what? That's why you are you.
Yeah.
And I'm me. I haven't learned that skill set yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I won't, but I don't know it right now, right before this record come out. So you know what? You got it, bro.
Yeah, man. Like that's what I'm saying. That's what I love about him. You know what I mean? Like it's not like he's holding it against me or whatever. He's just like, no, I'm gonna teach you a lesson, and that's what's gonna be. And like, and that's literally been my whole career. Like I still apply everything that he's taught me. You know what I mean? Literally up to this point. I think that's contributed to my success, literally. You know what I mean? Like that separation's kind of happened because I've learned from like literally the best to ever do it to me. You know what I mean? So
listen, that's a dope thing, bro. Like, and he's, like I said, he's a guy that one session with him will change your life. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It definitely will. So with that being said, I'm gonna go into my hip hop confession about how we met. You don't remember? Do you remember how we met at all?
I do not remember.
Okay, cool. So it's probably gonna come back to you in this moment. And it's a guy that connected us, like I said, to protect the guilty and the innocent. I'm gonna just call him Aftermath. You know what I mean? His name is Aftermath, and it's not Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be two guys in this story. One guy, I'm just gonna call him Jay, and then the other guy's Aftermath, right? So I get Knots, Daryl Sloan, Knots' manager, hits me up and says, yo, it's the guy named Aftermath that wants to contact you about doing some writing. They working on Detox. I get a call. I'm like, really? He was like, no, it's legit. He got a beat from Knots, and he been giving it to different writers, and he want him to touch it. I think Royce might have had it. You might, whatever.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, oh shit, this is crazy. So I get the beat and I write 3 separate songs to it. 2 songs, I was just being in my own voice, just rapping as myself. Well, just rapping as a rapper. The third song, I changed my tone and started sounding like Dre. Right? I'm rapping deeper. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I'm
in a pocket that Dre would be. I thought Dre would be in.
Yeah.
I send the record back to Knots, and then I guess they send it over. 2 days later, Aftermath hits me on my line, like 310 number, like, yo, man, Dre fucking with all 3 of these joints. All the versions. Like, yo, when can you come to LA? And I was like, shit, I'm gonna be out there in a minute for the Grammy shit. He was like, oh, okay, bet. Well, I'm gonna set some shit up. So I'm like, oh, okay, bet. I come out there Grammy week. And he hits me up. I got to rent a car and shit. I'm moving around LA. And he hits me like, we're going to go to Dre's Friday night. And I'm like, all right, cool. And I never forget, we was going down Sunset, we was going up Sunset and banged a right. I think on Doheny or some shit.
Right.
So we go up there and this windy road and we get to the security guards and we get to this big ass house, right? And I come in, he introduces me, I come in and he's like, yo, this this Skillz that wrote the joints, and he was like, oh shit, what's up, man? And I was like, what's up? The game is on, the Laker game is on, the house is chill. It's just me, Dre, maybe one other dude, and I think it was me, Dre, and two other dudes, and the guy that I was with, Aftermath, who I was with. Right. So we in the house, and he like, yeah, nah, I like what you did to them joints. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to play you some other shit. He starts playing me all these amazing ass records.
Right.
I was joint with Too Short. He played me the joint over the Jake 1 beat that turned into Three Kings. I'm hearing it's a record with Little Kim and Too Short. It was fucking amazing.
Oh yeah.
Right? I'm hearing all these songs, and he's like, what you think? And I was like, first of all, I can't believe I'm sitting here just chilling with fucking Dr. Dre, right? I'm like, yo, this shit is crazy. He was like, all right, cool. I got some joints. I'm gonna play you real quick in the big room. So we go into this room, and he plays me some joints, says some beats. He's like, what you think about these? So I was like, yo, I like the first two. He was like, you think you could try something to him? And I was like, yeah, hell yeah. So I start writing. He leaves the room. I finished the first one, and I go outside for a second, and he's telling Aftermath is drinking. He's drinking, right?
Right.
Aftermath has been drinking, and he rode up there with me. I picked him up, and he rode up there with me. Aftermath been drinking. So Drake tells one of the dudes, he was like, yo, man, it's like 10 o'clock Friday night. He's like, yo, it's like dry, man. You think we should get some people over here? And he was like, I don't know. He was like, what you want to do, Dre? He was like, man, it's just the vibe is just weird. Let's get some people over here. I'm like, I grabbed a quick soda, go back into the room, finish writing the first record. Khalil, I lie to you not. I come back, and it's 40 people in there. It's like a party. It looked like the G Thing video in the house, right? I'm writing a guy named Slim the Mobster.
Oh yeah,
comes
Slim.
over.
Yep.
Slim the Mobster comes over, and he I think he was writing some joints too. But I'm in this room. I go out. It's girls. It's a party, and I'm like, damn, it's lit in here. But I'm like, I don't want him to think that this is gonna get my concentration off of finishing these songs.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back in the room and finish these songs. Fuck this part. Ludacris is in here. Fucking Swiss came through. Alicia Keys. Like, it's Grammy weekend. Right?
Right.
So it's celebs in there and regular people, everybody drinking, chilling. Aftermath still drinking. The homie Aftermath, right? I go back in, I finish the songs. I come back out, I peek my head out. Dre look at me, and I'm like, I never told this story before. This is crazy. Dre looks at me, he like, yo, you got something? And I was like, yeah, come check it out. He was like, all right, cool. So he comes in, he listened to both of them, and he like, oh, these fire. He was like, yo, that pocket you was in, that shit is hard. He was like, I want you to take, he says it so fast. He goes, yo, the fourth line, the 12th line, and the 14th bar, like, say those joints like you came in like ta-ta, ta-ta, ta-ta. Come finish it like ta-ta, ta-ta, ta-ta. Finish it like that, like and I'm sitting there like, because he's paying attention to the syllables, and I'm like, fuck. He's like, yeah, because you need one more word to make that match that one, like ta-ta-ta-ta. Like, so I'm like, all right, bet I got it. And I understand what he's asking me to do. Right. I go back in the room, finish it, getting better, and I gotta take a piss. I come out and I take a piss, and I'm literally looking out. As I go in the bathroom, I'm looking at all of LA through a window. I go back in, come back, he listens to the records, he likes it. I go back in the room. I come back out 45 minutes later, everybody's gone. What? It's like it never happened. Right? Everybody's gone. It's Dre, homie Aftermath, another dude, and another guy. And I'm just sitting there like, all right, okay, cool. The game is over. Lakers won, you know what I'm saying? It's like, motherfuckers, I guess, went out and hit the streets or whatever.
Right.
So he's sitting there, and he's like, nah, man. He's like, yeah, I'm going to vibe with those joints. I'm going to definitely be in touch. Like, I like your pen. And I was like, oh, man, I thank you, man. I appreciate it. Like, so I just appreciate the opportunity. He was like, yeah, nah, it's cool, man. And I was like, yo, man, you got a beautiful home. Like, this house is amazing. Like, And he said, no, thank you. He said, I appreciate it. And I was like, yo, so where's where's your family? Like, and he was like, what you mean? And I said, like, does anybody else live here with like the family? And he was like, what? Oh, you mean like the house? I was like, yeah. He was like, oh, no, this ain't like my house, like where the family stays. Yeah. This is like, he's like, yo, you got to come out here in the summer, Skillz. It'd be cracking out here. The homies be here. And I'm like, in my mind, I go, you don't even live here? Yeah, it's crazy. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. He like, this the home, and it's computing to me. This is the homie house.
Yeah, that's the homie house.
This is where we come and just kick it. And I'm like, what is my life? We leave. Aftermath is drunk, wasted. Dre is looking like, oh, this you did a little too much. And they like, I'm gonna take him back. They like, yo, you got him, Skillz? I'm like, yeah, I'll take him back. They like, all right, cool. We get in the car and I bang a right and I start driving up instead of going down, right?
Right.
He ain't say nothing. He just in the car and he keeps saying, yo, you gotta take me to Lil. I said, who? He said, you gotta take me to Lil. And he said, you gotta take me to Lil. And I'm like, we go up this hill and these men in black looking motherfuckers come out with straight earpieces and the whole shit. And I'm like, they come out, they about to pull out on us. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on? He's in the passenger seat kind of leaning. And he goes, oh, shit, my bad. I meant to tell you to make a left. Did you make a right? I said, yeah, I made a right. He said, the earpiece dude goes, where are you going? I said, I'm trying to get back down to Sunset. He's like, yeah, nah, back up. I had to do a 3-point turn, a small-ass street. He's like, you got to go back down that way. I go back down the hill. I'm like, bro, what the fuck, bro? Why? You told me to go right. He was like, oh, my bad. He was like, I said, what was that? He was like, yo, that's Leonardo DiCaprio's house. You can't even go up his street. I said, what?
That's right. That's
he
right.
Said, that's Leonardo DiCaprio's house. My bad. He's like, yo, he keeps calling this number, and it's 3 a.m. Nobody's answering. He's like, I got to go to Lil's. I can't go home. I got to go to Lil's. Finally, he calls, and somebody named Lil gets on the phone with me, and I go, yo, man, I got him in the car with me, and he's tipsy, and he said he got to come to your house. And the person on the phone, Lil, goes, all right, yeah, bring him over here. So I said, okay, cool. What's the address? Because he's drunk. Lil gives me the address. He's in the car wasted. I finally get to this address. I go knock on the door. The door opens, and it's you. And I said, yo, man, I got Aftermath. And you like, yo, he drunk? And I'm like, yeah. You like, all right, man. And he gets up, he walks by you, and you look at him like, damn, bro, like, all right, man. And I'm like, yo, is he good? And you was like, yeah, he good. And then you close the door. Then you open the door back up and you go, wait a minute. Are you Mad Skillz? And I said, yeah. I said, are you DJ Khalil? And you were like, yeah, it's 3:30 in the morning. You go, yeah. And I said, yo, and you was like, bro, I'm a huge fan, man. I used to bang your shit back and like, yo, Mad Skillz on my fucking porch at 3 a.m. This shit is crazy to me. And I'm sitting there like,
that's
fucking DJ Khalil. I drop him off. I drop Aftermath off at your house, and I go back to the hotel. I didn't get back to the room till 4 a.m.
Wow.
So I sleep till like 1 p.m.,
right.
2 p.m. I wake up, and I have 19 missed calls from Aftermath. I finally call him, and he goes, yo, what's up, man? Yo, man, my bad for last night, man. I was fucked up. But, yo, can you do me a favor? I said, what? He said, can you check your rent-a-car and see if I left my wallet in there?
Oh, my.
And I said, yeah, I'll go check it. I go check the rent-a-car. His wallet is right in between the door and the right-hand side of the door. I call back. I said, yo, I got your wallet, bro. He said, yo, man. He said, where are you? I said, I'm at this Subway right here off of, like, La Cienega or some shit. He was like, yo, I'm at DJ Khalil's spot. here's the address. Can you come bring my wallet to me? I'm like, yeah, I'll bring the wallet. So I go to your studio, right up on the joint that's overlooking on La Brea. I go to your studio. I come in and I bring him his wallet. Right? I bring him his wallet. I'll walk in and you're fucking sitting there. Like, and I'm like, what is my life? The story gets better. The story gets better. Now this is where this person Jay comes in. We're sitting in your studio and you start playing me beats. We start rocking. I'm listening to beats. Aftermath is still over there, kind of hungover from the night before. And then this guy comes in named DJ Buddha. Buddha comes in and Buddha goes, yo, Mad Skillz? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, yeah, I was just talking about you the other night. And I was like, to who? And he was like, yeah, well, it was a guy I know, man. He writes songs and shit. You know, he was like, my name's DJ Buddha. I work at Pitbull. And I was like, Pitbull was huge at the time. And he was like, man, I work with this guy. I worked with this guy, man. And, you know, he was talking about you the other night. I was like, he's talking about me what? He was like, yeah, he's saying he used to rap at like a radio station with you or some shit. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck you talking about. And he was like, he said, yo, like, he said he used to rap with you and like Lonnie G. I said, Lonnie B? He was like, yeah, Lonnie B and some shit. I was like, yeah. He said, yeah, the guy, yeah, he said he was down with y'all. I was like, I don't know what the fuck you talking about. And he was like, tall? He said, he told me his name and I was like, yeah, I don't know him. And he goes, yeah, he's tall. I said, dark skin? He was like, yeah. I said, I don't know. The person you talking about don't sound like the person I know. Right. He was like, yeah. And then he says, yeah, nah, like, he's a huge songwriter. The motherfucker that wrote hits for, like, Madonna, fucking will.i.am, like, all this shit. I'm trying to get him to work with Pitbull. Motherfucker won't return my calls. And I was like, wait a minute. Who you talking about? Tells me his name again. I'm like, he sound like another dude I know named Jay. And he was like, his name ain't Jay. I said, yo, you got his number? He's like, yeah, but he don't never fucking answer the phone. I said, yo, text him this real quick. I tell him, I said, yo, I named the college radio station and this shit that we used to say all the time before we rhymed, and he sent it to him. 2 minutes later, the phone rings. And Buddha goes, yo, this fuck's crazy. This motherfucker never calls me. Like, wow. What did you say? I pick up the phone, and he like, Skillz. And I'm like, what's up, bro? He's like, where are you? I said, yo, I'm with DJ Buddha at Khalil's studio. I'm on the way. Right now. He said, the one off La Brea? I said, yeah. He said, we on the way. I'm like, all right. I get off the phone. Buddha goes, what did he say? I said, yo, he said he's on the way. Buddha was like, bro, I've been trying to get this dude for like 6 weeks. He won't fucking return my call. I'm trying to get him to work with Pitbull. He won't even return my call. I was like, yo, that's my young man. That's my youngin'. That's my little homie. That's like the little homie. He was like, bro, that's crazy. The dude comes in the studio. And when he comes in, he starts talking to everybody. He's like, oh, how are you? I'm so-and-so. And everybody's like, yo, how you doing? And I hear his voice. I'm like, it's not the same Jay I know from back in the day. It can't be. He don't even sound like this. And I hear he's speaking to people as he's coming down the hallway of your studio. He speaks to you. He's like, oh, DJ Khalil, how are you? So soon as he turns to me, I go, yo, Jay, man. He goes, yo, are you guys busy? And you was like, nah, we just playing beats. He was like, can I borrow Skillz? And you were like, yeah. He's like, I just want to play something in my car. Can I borrow Skillz? And you was like, yeah, cool. He's like, Skillz, just come outside. I just wanted to play 2 songs for you. So I go, all right. So I walk outside. I get in his car. He gets in the front seat. He has a driver in a black Cadillac Escalade. He closes the door, turns around, looks at me and goes, yo, what's up, motherfucker? I was like, yo, Jay, what the fuck is going on, bro? He was like, yo, Khalil and Buddha, they don't know me as Jay, bro. Like, he had changed his name, went to LA, became a huge songwriter, but he was my youngin'. And that's how I met. That's the first. All of that happened in the 24 hours that I met you.
That's crazy.
From Dr. Dre's house to your house to your studio to connecting with my old homie back in the day, who's a huge fucking songwriter now, pop, doing his shit.
Wow.
And that's how that's all that happened around the same 24 hours that I was at your house with Aftermath when he got drunk and I had to take him to your crib.
That is, it's like, as soon as you told the story, I know who you're talking about now. Right. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Right.
Like, I can't believe that. No, man. I mean, everything, like, me being on La Brea, that room was, like, magical. It was in the middle of everything, so everybody came through. Like, dude, I remember Drake pulled up on me with 10 SUVs pulled up in the parking lot.
In that little ass parking?
In that little ass part, dude, like he called me, he was working on Take Care. He was working on Take Care, and he was like, yo, where you at? I'm like, I'm at the studio, I'm sitting on La Brea. He's like, send me the address, I'm on my way. Pulls up 10 SUVs coming, like the president. And they rush him in, like literally, like he has bodyguards, they rush him into my studio, because it's like, you know, it's some hood dudes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Your shit is it's right there.
It's like, right in the hood, it's like mid-city, so... And he hung out for like 45 minutes. I'm playing the beats. He's like, yo, you know, like I told Rolling Stone, like, can I tell them that you're going to be on the album? I'm like, Drake is telling me this. I'm like, what are you talking like? You know what I mean? I ended up not making the album, you know what I mean? But it was like, I have my version of Club Paradise that never came out. But,
right.
You know what I mean? They ended up going a different version. But like, that was like, Dre had been over there, Buster a bunch of times, Pitbull's been over there, like everybody's been in that spot. Yeah. Like everybody.
And then I think Dahi got it.
Yeah,
after
and then Dahi.
Yeah, DJ Dahi was next door.
Yeah, DJ Dahi he took Crondon's spot. Crondon was next door.
Yes, that's
and he took over Crondon's spot, and then who took over my spot? I'm sure, but because I left and I moved downtown, and then like, so everybody literally in hip hop has been in that space.
Yeah, legendary studio, bro.
Like
that's
legendary.
my story.
Yeah, man.
And I'm glad I had a moment there. Like, but that's how that was my 24 hours in LA working with Dr. Dre for Detox.
That is incredible.
Which connected me to you, and then connected me to my homeboy from VA who had went to LA and changed his name and started doing some other shit.
Incredible,
man. Super wild story, man.
Yeah, that's wild, man. Oh my, that's like, nah, that brings back way too many memories. Because I remember that house, Dre's house over there, like, that was, you know, I was over there working with him. I was making beats with him for like a month over there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
which
was the most intense thing ever. But it was, we had fun though. It was, Dre knows how to have fun, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely for sure. So yeah, man, before we get out of here, let the people know what you got coming up next. What can they look out for? You know what I'm saying? What you got on deck for 2023?
Man, just me and Chase are working on Self Scientific right now. I mean, definitely have records coming out. I don't want to even put it out there yet, because you never know what's going to happen when they're coming. But definitely more production coming. You know, I'm trying to drop this instrumental album sometime this year. Yeah, with a band that I don't want to say anything yet until it's like confirmed, but it's with a band that's like everybody loves. You know what I mean? So we have a full project that I want to release. So we'll see what happens there. Just a lot of more partnerships and stuff like that, and definitely more music. But yeah, man, that's it. You know, honestly,
that's dope, man.
Still working, man. I'm up for, I'm on Kendrick's album. We're up for the Grammy Album of the Year this year. I won last year Album of the Year, won a Grammy, so still going.
Dope,
you know
man.
What I mean?
Dope.
Yeah, man.
I love to see it happen, man. Good luck to you, brother, man. I appreciate you tapping in with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. This is definitely a bucket list.
Yeah, then I definitely I definitely want to get, just a pack from you, some beats to just write to. You know, I still write my shit, so you never know where it might end up.
We're overdue. We're overdue.
Yeah, for sure. Well, man, listen. Tell the people where they can get you, your social media and all of that, where they can follow you at, man. This guy's an amazing producer, y'all. If you do beats, man, you definitely got to tap in with him. And even if you don't, he's amazing.
Man, thank you. On Instagram, it's just DJ Khalil. I'm just like at DJ Khalil. And same thing with Twitter. You can find me on there, just DJ Khalil. Trying to remember. Facebook, you can find me under Self Scientific and DJ Khalil.
Right.
Self Scientific, we got, you can look us up. Me and my brother Chase, you know what I mean? So, yeah, man, we still out here. Just doing it, man.
Keeping hip-hop alive. And it's hip-hop's 50th, man. So, this year it's gonna be a stellar year for a lot of
Big
people,
year.
man. So I'm looking forward to what you're gonna cook up and what you're gonna do, man.
Yeah,
And
man.
I just appreciate you pulling up to the show, brother, man.
Yeah,
Thanks for
man.
having me.
Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah,
man.
already.
Thanks for having me. All right,
Yeah,
brother.
y'all. Check it
All
out,
right.
man. This has been Hip Hop Confessions with DJ Khalil and Mad Skillz, because everybody got one.
Here's a little story that must be told.
And it goes a little something like this.